So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Lior of Kingswood to the stage. He is going to be introducing the presenters for the wellness sector.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so since time is of the essence, I know we're running a few minutes behind, I'm going to get right to it. The wellness industry is known for a multi-trillion-dollar industry, is known to be focusing on the folks who are really looking at themselves, how to make themselves like better. You're seeing telomeres that are the word of the day. We took a company public just earlier this year by the name of Telo, T-E-L-O, telomere. And it's actually known for how to elongate your telomeres to have the longest life you could possibly have, to look at your cell regeneration of cells in your own body. I think that's a very important industry that we're actually looking into as a firm in general, because we're seeing that business, it's just growing leaps and bounds. We're seeing so many centers just popping up left and right. Now, this company I'm going to be introducing to you right now is not exactly in that sector, but it's very well known for its technology in the space of neuromedicine. But I'll give you exactly what they are doing so I'm not going to botch this. Right now, you'll be hearing cutting edge work in the exosome space and therapies aimed at regeneration of neurons in the central nervous system, leading to recovery of motor function and acute spinal cord injuries. So without further ado, I don't want to say much more because I want to give the time to Dr. Lior Shaltiel.
Okay, pleasure being here. Long travel from Israel, but I'm finally here. So it's great to be here in the wellness, and I will give you by the end what is the connection to wellness. We are primarily a health tech company, specialized on regeneration of neurons, and we here where nature ends and NurExone begins. What we are doing is regenerative of nerves in a minimally invasive way. And let me introduce, we are already publicly traded company from 2022, one of the only company that completes successfully RTO. In 2022, we have already 2 years as a publicly traded at the Toronto Stock Exchange Venture. We are also traded in Germany and also recently in the US at the OTC QB. We raised so far $15 million, including the last in April, we had a warrant exercise of $4 million from our old RTO investors. So we have a good track with our investors. We have a very strong IP portfolio, cover 5 families of patents, and I will discuss it later. What are exosomes? I'm sorry, probably most of you do not know the words. Exosomes are tiny vesicles secreted from cells, usually from stem cells, okay? And they create a very unique property. They are going to inflammation in order to heal the damaged tissue. We're using this as a guided missions to our purposes. Our purposes is to regenerate nerves, specifically in the CNS, central nervous systems. How we do it? We do it using exosomes. It's a bit misleading because the exosomes are not empty. They are full of goodies that the cells secrete in order to help the tissue to regenerate. We add a specific API. In our case, is a specific target to cross a regeneration of neurons based on siRNA, small peptide, small sequence of RNA. In our case, the target is called PTEN. So the product itself is exopitin, and this creates a platform of variety using exotherapy as a model, as a nano-drug delivery system. So why to use exosomes? For several reasons, and here are some of that. You can use it minimally invasive. Our proof of concept was done intranasally for a spinal cord injury. Again, intranasally to the spinal cord injury, minimally invasive. It's an off-the-shelf product, no toxicity, cell-free. We don't do any more cells. We're using our cells in the bioreactors, but the product itself is a cell-free. And then it's also across the BBB. So we can go directly to the central nerve system in order to heal several indications. And spinal cord injury is just the tip of the iceberg. Here are some of the results that we show. I hope I can, if you can turn on the video. So here is the rat that got the, after full transfection of the spinal cord, he got the XOP10, and months later he could walk again. A bit awkward, but he could walk. And it is really important to mention here that this full transection is actually a kill experience. We wanted to know if it's work or not. We just cut completely the spinal cord injury, give it intranasal, and months later we could see the rat's works. That means that the gap that we see in the middle actually healed, and we have regeneration of neurons. So what we see in a tissue level, we see in a functional level, and this functional level in motor, sensoric, well-being, etc. We repeat it again. This is on the left side. Again, in another a group of rats, and we saw again the same phenomena of crossing, getting the gap closed, and functional recovery. So now we are convinced that it's working in spinal cord injury. Moreover, recently, 3 months ago, we also published data that we can have a regeneration on the optic nerve using a glaucoma model. So it's not one indication, it's not one product. The company is dealing with several regenerative medicine issues when the spinal cord injury is in front. Why? Because we received last October the orphan drug designation by the FDA. Let's move. So the potential market, as I said, is first of all the spinal cord injury. We enter recently to the glaucoma, which is much more bigger market. And the idea is to continue also to other indications. For example, traumatic brain injury, which is 10 times more market than spinal cord injury. Because if you have a regenerative tools, you can use it for different indications. And then the platform itself, since we have a very strong IP profile, we can work and partners with big pharmaceutical in order to use this unique modality, unique drug delivery system for other purposes. So if we can load siRNA, we can load other targets siRNA or peptides or small molecules. We are covering with, we're covering with our PCT and US granted patents several issues that are really important for the industry. First of all, the drug administration, which is granted in the US, Russia, Israel, and Japan. So far, we have other territories. We have exosomes production from 2D to 3D, so we control the production, including composition of matter. Third, we know exactly what we load, and this is under patent. The sequence and the modification of the siRNA is under patent by NurExone. XOP10 is one of that. We have other targets that are already patented. And the last one is the ability of NurExone to load post-production the exosomes. So we are producing, first of all, the naive exosomes, and then you can modify it depend on the customer needs. That means we have a platform. This is the, I will go back, so because I skipped this is the roadmap. The roadmap is related specifically to the spinal cord development. But as I said, we don't have only that. Our focus at the moment, after finishing the pre-IND, is to have the IND submission by the end of next year, and then going to clinic as soon as possible, okay? And this is estimated in the beginning of 2026. This is the team. I'm leading it as a CEO. I have Ran Ovadia, my CFO, long experience with J&J in Israel, and all the team, Dr. Noah Avni and Dr. Dr. Ina Sarel is head of the quality and CMC in the company, has experience in the field specifically, and can execute, as we execute the RTO in 2022. This is our director. We are split between Israel and Canada. Oded Orgil here is one of the organizers, our directors, together with James Richardson, which is actually a nice story. He was the CEO of the Shell company. He got in love with this technology and served us as a board already now 2 years, and we are so glad to have him on board. This is the scientific advisory board. It's a mixture between neurosurgeries, ophthalmologists, specialists like Professor Michael Belkin, Gavriel Zelig. Professor Gavriel Zelig, he's from the rehabilitation, which is super important when you're dealing with spinal cord injury, because the physician, like Professor Nachshon Knoller, that treats the patients, he is going to get the patients for the rehabilitation after the injury. And we have also representative in the East Coast, Professor Theodore Dagi from Boston. Shulamit Levenberg is one of the inventors of this drug from the Technion in Haifa, together with Danny Offen from Tel Aviv University. This is the share structure so far, and I think we are here almost by the end of it. I finish here. I want just to link to what Ariel said before. This is a drug, okay? We are going all the way with the highest spec with the FDA. But you can, as we produce in 2D to 3D, those exosomes, naive exosomes, is a huge market for longevity, okay? If you take exosomes and check what is the amount of exosomes per age, you see that by body mass, a baby has the highest exosomes in the blood compared to elderly person. So it means that there is another scale of longevity here, and people in California, people in the Far East, start already to inject exosomes. It's, of course, unregulated market, but this is the linkage between wellness and health. And with that, I will finish. Thank you so much.
We could ask for questions after. We have some lunch being served after this meeting.
Between the lunch and
in between then and then. So please come back to us. We have one-on-ones, or just please come to Dr. Lior, and we'll have one-on-ones set up. We have a couple of meeting rooms available. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.